Hello, today I'm here with another blogger who's actually releasing a book very shortly, and it's Wendy Conklin from Chair Whimsy. So I hope you've all heard of her because she's really fun and bright and colorful. And here she is. Hi, Wendy.
Hey, good to see you.
You too. So how are you today?
Oh, good. It's a bright sunny day here, so it's nice.
Where are you located?
So I'm in the Austin, Texas area.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of it turns out a lot of people who I know and am in contact with they're all in Texas. Everyone's
Yeah.
in Texas. That's so funny. So yeah, so I don't remember how I found out about you, but I've known about you for a while and your lovely chairs and your beautiful fabrics. And then I saw that you started a little kind of a course how to choose your fabrics and all that stuff, and things
Mhm.
have just gone a little bit exploding for you.
Yeah, it's gone really, really well. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so what's your story? How did all this start?
Well, about 10 years ago, I took an upholstery course and just kind of as a hobby, just wanted to learn. I'd always wanted to learn. I dabbled in it, just didn't know what I was doing. And I decided to take officially a couple of courses. I took my first one and then had to take it again because I couldn't remember what we did in class. Like I would get home and think, wait, what, how did we do that? What was that? And there was no video to review it. So I took it again and got the skills down better. And then just opened an Etsy shop and just thought, well, I wonder if I could sell a couple of these. And so I was an educational consultant at the time. I had been a teacher before that, and I began writing books. And I published with a couple publishing companies. Scholastic was one of them. Another one was Teacher Creative Materials. And so I began working for them as an editor, and I wrote a lot of books for them, like readers and curriculum and teacher professional development books and all kinds of things, and then would go train teachers all over the U.S. I traveled some, and so this was just a hobby in my part time. Whenever I'd be home on the weekends, whatever I would do chairs because I would just really loved decorating. I liked exploring with color. And, I started getting a couple orders and people wanted custom. And I thought, I wonder like if this could be a thing, and then the more I started liking chairs, the more I started disliking my job. Just like one of these things. So it
Yeah.
took me a while to be able to quit my day job, just mainly because of pricing and things like that, just not having enough confidence to price where I should have been. But I finally got that under control, and then started my course about 2.5 years ago. I opened my online upholstery course for beginners, and just been growing that community. And it's been a lot of fun seeing the women who join. I mean, a lot of them, some of them are widows and they're looking for something to do. They're looking for community and healing, I think, honestly. And other people just want to be creative and start exploring that creative side again and playing more because they haven't played in so long. And I think that's kind of, we get in this rut as adults of all the things we got to do, and we don't play like we should. And, part of playing is taking some risks. Sometimes playing is hard to do, but most of the time it's enjoyable and it's fun and it's joy filled, with exploring, possibilities and trying out things and really seeing what we can create with our hands. Because I think, like, when we create with our hands, there's so many amazing things that can happen. So, I mean, it's just been a really fun journey. And now I have a book coming out on it. So it's like there's something new all the time, honestly.
Well, that's amazing. It's funny how little things you never intended to start this, and here it is. Now it's your life, it's your business, and
Yeah,
and you do it from home. You have a studio in your backyard, I believe, right?
I do. Yes, I
Did,
do. Yeah.
did you do a makeover on that recently, or maybe a while, maybe a year ago or something?
I'm always like adding to, the interior space, like redecorating a little bit, putting up wallpaper, things like that out there. But I had my shop built. It was probably about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, actually. I had one part of my shop built, and then a few years later, I had outgrown it. So I added on. I doubled the space. And it's like, it's never big enough. Like now I feel like anymore, but like we're out of space. We have no more space to expand. So this is it. But yeah, no, I always like kind of decorating around and doing some fun things in there, just anything to keep me inspired. Cause I think your surroundings, wherever you work, is very, very important for inspiration, for creativity to strike, and for joy. This is my kitchen where I'm at in my kitchen nook, and I'm facing my kitchen, and like it. This is my office because it's inspiring to me. So I moved from a little room where I used to do all my writing as a consultant into here because I feel more inspired in my kitchen. So it is like my unofficial office when I have to do online things or things in my computer. But people, I encourage them all the time. Not everyone can build a shop in their backyard like I have. I'm very lucky and fortunate to have been able to have the space to do it. But I say, even if it has to be a corner of a room or a dining space or in your garage, wherever choose to make your space, make it creative, make it fun, make it you, so that every time you get out there, you can feel inspired to do the work. Because sometimes the work is not fun that you have to do. When I'm stripping down a chair, that's a nightmare with 1,000 staples in it. I mean, it's not the most fun thing to do, but if you're in an inspired space, you tend to enjoy it better.
Yeah, it's so true. Your environment is so important, and
Mhm.
people don't realize that. And,
Right.
some people, if their home isn't joyful and inviting, they don't spend a lot of time there. They go out
Right.
to the movies, they go out to a restaurant, they go visit friends, and their home just becomes a place to sleep and, and do those things. But I believe your home has to be an expression of you and give you joy, and your home should feel like it's giving you a hug.
Absolutely. And I think people don't do it because maybe they're afraid of commitment. I've heard people say, "Oh, I don't want
Yeah.
to do this because I'm going to sell my house in 20 years." Or, I mean, just
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
stuff. And I'm like, this
Yeah.
is crazy. Like, you're living in this house. My mother in law had said that about, there was a really cute floor we wanted to put in, a black and white checker floor. Well, I don't think I want to do that because I think I might sell. And this was like 15 years ago or more, and it's like, why are you living in the space that you're inspired by? And I think people might be afraid of what others are going to think of their space. But you know what? You're the one living there, and it should look the way you want it to look, because who cares what anyone else thinks? It's not their home,
That's right.
and I mean, that's just, I think when you can embrace that and just do things in your home that make you happy, I mean, you might as well, like, you're living in this space, and it really does elevate you when you begin to do this. I remember I put off doing my bedroom for years. We've always had like hand-me-down furniture. And and I finally like paid attention and thought, I'm going to do something to my bedroom. I'm going to make it what I want it to be. And I bought some, really nice shades for in there that had a lot of color on them. And that kind of started the whole design process out there. And I cannot tell you, even though I just go in there to sleep, or to get dressed and get ready for the day, it makes such a difference in my mood, and
Yeah.
brings me a lot of happiness. And I mean, like, that is not overrated. Like, you should be doing this, everybody, and take one
Yes.
room at a time and just do little tweaks to it, adding pillows, or painting a wall or something like that, to make a difference in this space, because everything does make a difference when you begin to make it personal and personalize it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so
Mhm.
important. And didn't you just do your bathtub? Didn't you make a pink bathtub?
Yeah, but that's for outside. So
Oh, that's for outside. Okay.
it is for outside. It's kind of a twofold purpose. Like, I'm having a book party at the
Yes.
end of
Yes.
March, that I have tickets selling for. And so we're going to use the pink bathtub. Well, I bought the bathtub and then painted it pink. And we're going to use that for the drinks outside, to be
Oh,
on ice. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then it's going to go in my garden, and I'm going to use it as a planter. So
oh,
it should
okay.
be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And tell me about your car. You have the most colorful car I've ever seen.
Yeah, honestly, this is the best money I've ever spent in my life, honestly, on a wrap. So my friend Carrie Schmidt is an artist, paints gorgeous florals, and we connected a few years back, and did a collaboration together. And I used her floral paintings. We put it on fabric, and I did a chair collection out of it. And so anyway, I've had four Beetles. Loved that kind of car. The last The last long one I had was a 2005, and like 2 years ago, I just driven it into the ground. Like it was time for a new one, and it was like a bright green color, and I loved it. And so I got a white Beetle, and it's fine, but it's not like white. I mean, it just wasn't doing anything for me, and I didn't, and they don't make Beetles anymore. So this 2019 was the last year, and so I decided, I'm either going to paint this pink or I'm going to get a wrap on it. And I started kind of exploring, well, it's actually cheaper to do a wrap, but you do have to take care of the car. You got to park it in a garage, overnight. That kind of, leaving it out in the elements is not good for a wrap. It won't last very long. But if you take care of it, you hand wash, you do all the things, it can last a long time. And so anyway, we took some of Carrie's art and I sent it to the auto wrap place, and they created a wrap for the car. So man, everywhere I go, like women are wanting me to roll down the windows, like they yell for me at across the grocery store, you think, I love your car. And then little kids are waving at me, and old men. If I ever wanted to pick up men, this is the car to do it in, because it's always these older men. They're like, that is the best car ever.
I should
So
get
it's
one
just,
for my mom.
it's very seriously, it's a pickup, I guess, for, I don't know why, but it's always the older men who really comment on the car. It's kind of funny, but yeah, I mean, it just makes me so happy to drive around in it. And it brings a lot of joy to other people too. So that's what's made it so much fun to have. I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And what about your fabrics? Do you design now your own fabrics?
No, I don't. I don't design my own fabrics. I do buy fabrics from like everywhere. I have a trade showroom that I go to. I get a lot of authentic textiles I hunt for and find online. And there's a fabric boutique store here in the Austin area that I go to, and when I need something, I wanted to get really quick, and so I get them basically in a lot of different places. It's just I have so many different styles, and I have so many different clients who want different color schemes and different looks that I kind of reach from everywhere, actually.
Do you have like a favorite supplier, just personally?
Not really. No.
No.
I love them all, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really hard to pick. Just depending on what is the vibe I'm going for. I'm using a Liberty fabric by Fabric Cut on a big settee that's outside in my shop, and so that's going to be in my living room whenever I finish it. But so I mean, I love Liberty fabrics, but again, I love very light floral fabrics too. So and linen. So I mean, it just depends on what I'm designing and what use it's going to be for.
Yeah, I love linen too. And actually, I'm here in my store, and this is a little room. This is the sample room. So I'm sitting here with fabric books all over the place, and I just love fabric too. I could sit all day and look at these books, and we also sell wallpaper here. So the wallpaper books are here, and I love the patterns. They're just so gorgeous. And I always think, I wish I had 10 houses, because I want to have a room with every one of these.
It's about coming to that point at my house. Like, I think I've put wallpaper in almost every room. And it's like, I'm about to do some in my dining room. And it's like, oh boy,
Yeah,
there's not much more room for wallpaper.
Yeah. Well, at least like I'm in my store, so I change it every once in a while. So last week I put a new wallpaper in one room, and it's black crocodile, and it's even textured. And then I painted the room in a semi-gloss black, so it's really moody. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah. I love black paint.
Yeah, me too. Black is
my kitchen.
favorite. Yeah. And my home, all my doors are black, and there's a few black rooms. I've got some black wallpaper in my bedroom, and
very fun.
Here in the store too, I use a lot of black in everything. It's my favorite.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah. Have you ever done instead of fabric, have you ever done the thing with chalk paint where you paint the chairs? Have you seen that?
Yes, I have used chalk paint on my chairs. I have. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Does it work well?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think it depends on the vibe that I'm going for with the chairs. So the fabric always drives the paint for me. And if I want a more relaxed bohemian look or, country look on my chairs because of the fabric, I'll definitely use chalk paint for something like that. But it did not definitely, I don't use the same kind of paint on all my chairs. I'm definitely
Yeah.
changing it up, and it's all because of the look, the style, the vibe that I'm trying to get, the way I design it. So that has everything to do with the kind of paint that I use.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. And where do you source all these beautiful chairs and settees and things?
Yeah, well, most of them I get on Facebook Marketplace or
Oh,
Craigslist. And then there's online auctions that I shop at, that I get them at. So, or flea markets, things like that. So I'm always on the hunt for a good chair.
yeah. And you always use used chairs? You never buy new ones?
So I do have a line of new chairs. I'm almost out
Oh,
of that stock and inventory. But back in 2017 and 2018, I designed some chairs with a woodworker over in Italy, picked out the chairs that I wanted, and they created and crafted them for me and sent them to me. So I had those, and I'm almost out. And I've reordered a couple times. I'm not sure if I'm going to reorder again because they are expensive.
mhm.
And the COVID shipping has made it a little higher than what it was even when I got them, which was already high. So I have done that. And there's good and bad things to doing new chairs. I mean, the bad part is the expense, waiting for the shipping, there being glitches in shipping, or just the woodworkers running slow and you've got orders piling up. But I mean, the good part is you don't have to strip them down. You can use, that natural, can you hear me still? There's
Yep.
something, okay. And so using that natural wood, and I can do whitewashes on it and things like that. So yeah, that's made it a lot of fun.
Mhm. So who do you find your customers are for your chairs? Are they all over the United States? Do you ever send any to Canada?
No, I have done overseas shipping, and it's just more of a pain, and a nightmare. There's always things that happen, so I've decided I don't ever do that anymore. I just, when you
Yeah.
have bad experiences with it, and it's just not worth the risk of the chairs breaking and things like that because they're not taken care of in that way. I don't ship overseas anymore. So I put my foot down about that. But I do ship all over the US. I have white glove shippers that come and pick them up. If it's a single chair, I just ship UPS in a box. But yeah, so I do, I do have orders that come in from all over, honestly. And they just find me on Etsy or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok and places, or Pinterest.
Yep.
And usually contact me for custom orders. So
Oh. And do you ever do headboards?
no, I don't do headboards.
No. Okay. No, just curious.
Nope, just chairs. That's it.
And another thing, I saw that you have a camper. Tell me about the camper.
Yeah, so we got this back in 2020, just as a way to be able to explore, and go places because everyone's trips were all canceled. And so in August of 2020, we went down to the coast, and I found it on Facebook Marketplace and picked it up. And we had never been RVers before, so I wasn't even sure if we were the RV kind of people. So we made our own category of what we're willing to do. But we took it, I redecorated it inside, painted and wallpapered and fixed it really cute. And we've taken it all over. We've gone to Big Bend National Park. We've gone to Grand Canyon, gone to Colorado. We've gone down to the coast in Texas. And and we've taken it to little trips just around here too. But yeah, we've really, really enjoyed ourselves with the camper. And usually we just only get away for usually a two, maybe 3 nights max, because it's not super comfortable, to sleep on. So that's about our limit of
Yeah.
what we're willing to handle. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun having it. It's small. It's only 16 feet, and that stresses us out enough to haul it, behind our truck. So
Yeah.
couldn't imagine having a longer one, although it'd be nice and more comfortable, but it's just, we're all nervous about pulling it and everything. So you can still tell that we're still newbies at it.
Yeah. But it must be so much fun.
It is. It gives us options. And it definitely did during COVID. We could definitely go places and do things and be in the outdoors and not feel like, we're in danger or endangering anyone else either, So,
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Mhm.
And what about your book? Tell me about the book launch and all the things about that that's coming up, because that
Yeah.
must be super exciting.
It is, yeah. So last summer, I spent the summer writing my book, and just had to have my website designer design the interior and cover of it, because that's what she does, books as well as websites, and worked with some editors and other people to help me with it, and my photographer. And we finally had the books delivered last week, and we're getting them ready to ship off to Amazon, where they're going to be available for pre-order in a couple weeks. And I have a book party March 25th. And so we are selling tickets. So we only have, I think we've sold 2/3 of the tickets. So we only have like 1/3 of the tickets left.
Oh,
So we're selling up to 200 to come. So with the tickets are $50. So like with the ticket, you get a copy of the book. You get to come in. We're going to do a tour of my home. You get to tour my camper, my studio, my greenhouse that we built, see my car. And we're going to have drinks and appetizers, a cupcake truck, a photo
wow.
booth where you can print out the little strips of photo as a memento.
Cute.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of people here, and everything, but it's just kind of come and go on March 25th from 2 to 5 p.m. So yeah, if you go to my website, chairwhimsy.com, you'll see the pop-up on the page to look at the book launch party, and check that out until we sell out of tickets, which hopefully will be soon. So that'll be good.
Yeah, I did see that pop up and I was like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your website is really nice. Like your lady who takes care of that, she does an amazing job.
She is amazing. Yeah, she's absolutely amazing. And that was one reason why, I had reached out to her, not knowing that she did books. I thought, but I was reaching out to her saying, hey, can you design my cover of my book? Because I wanted it to look like my brand. It's like important when you have a business, like everything should look like it works together, like it's
Yes.
branded very well. And she said, well, I actually do books. I'm like, okay, well, this is a no-brainer. Go for it then. I was like, all right, you're hired. And so it was really nice because I could have tried to go with a publisher. I had one publisher who was interested in publishing the book, but when you go with someone else, they're going to design the book the way they want it to be. They will change parts of your book. And for me, because it is a representation of my brand, I wanted it to look the way I wanted it to look. And I wanted it to say the things I wanted it to say. And so the book is called Life Whimsy: How to Think, Play, and Work More Creatively. So it's about creativity. It's about in our thinking, how do we think more and come up with great ideas? How do we play more creatively as adults? And even in our work life, how do we bring creativity into wherever we work, whether we work a creative job or a mainstream job? How do you do that? And there are techniques for doing it. And that's truly how I feel you get your life whimsy. You bring joy into your life is through creativity. And so that's what the book is about. And it's the book I wanted to write, and that's what I was advised, whatever you do the book that you really love, so.
Yeah. It's coming from your heart and soul. So it's
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm really, really proud of it. I feel like it's a helpful book. I think it will be helpful for many people. At least that's my goal for it. And I'm excited to get it out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And what about your course for business? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I do have a business course for people who do chairs, and it's called the Business of Chairs. So people, if you're doing chairs and you want to learn how to flip and sell, it's kind of like a coaching light class. I say, we have modules and things that you go through, but there's also a coaching component where we have a live call every month where, we deal with certain topics, or we talk about the latest things and how things are changing, so that people can move forward with their business and get their chairs out there to sell.
Oh, that's amazing. And it's such a unique thing to do. You're probably the only one who's doing that. That's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, it was just kind of the natural progression. People were asking me for it, after doing my like, I want to learn how to do a business. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I need to put something together to, help people to be able to do that. And that's kind of how all my courses have come to be. When people ask, well, I need help with this, I'm like, well, maybe I can create something, and being a teacher in the background, it's not hard for me to do
Yeah.
this. It
Yeah.
takes effort, but it's not hard to do.
Yeah. I think it probably comes naturally because that's what you did your whole life, right?
Right.
Yeah. And you probably, like as I did, I learned so many things through having a business. And I'm also, sharing it with other people. I mentioned to you earlier that we have a Zoom call every week with a few bloggers because we're talking about things we know and things we've learned, and we're just sharing that and helping each other out. And it's good when you know something, you can help people.
Right.
So why not? It's
Right.
fulfilling, right?
Very much
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Well, no, that's amazing. And I want to also ask you about your clothes because you have the most beautiful fabrics in your clothes. And I was wondering, do you make some of your clothes or?
No, I don't sew at all. I mean, except for
No.
double welt cord. That's all I can sew. It's the trim for my chairs. But no, I just shop at various places. I really love Francis Valentine is one of my favorite places to shop. I like Bowden is another good place. J. Crew. Those are my favorite go-to places where I really love to get clothes, and I love to wear colorful clothes. I kind of always have. So it makes me happy.
Yeah, of course. And do you have a favorite color?
Pink.
Pink.
Definitely.
Well, yeah, of course. Yes. Yeah. And is that for clothing on yourself or everything?
Everything, basically. I just love it. I love it in everything. I like mixing it with other colors. I mean, it's just my favorite, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, and I also want to ask about, do you love gardening? Do you love colorful flowers?
I do. I'm a novice though. I'm definitely learning. But yes, I definitely love colorful flowers, and my greenhouse is a perfect spot for me to, decorate around it, put plants inside of it. So it's been a lot of fun learning.
Yeah. Yeah, that must be fun. Yeah, last year I have a friend who has a she shed, and we did a makeover on her she shed, and we put, we planted all things around it, and we draped the ceiling with fabric, and we put wallpaper in the shed, and I love French country style, so we made like a French country shed. So it was just so much fun. Like it's so, and it's pink on the outside actually.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing all this with me. It's nice to get to know you better.
Yeah.
And, I'm really excited about your book. And what's the date of that again? The 25th?
So my book party is the 25th, and my book will hopefully be available for pre-order in a couple weeks. So yeah, stay tuned, beginning of March.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I'll be on the lookout for that.
Okay.
So good luck with everything. I hope it goes well. And yeah, thank you for your time. And yeah, maybe we'll chat again another day.
Okay. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you. And